What is up, Who Dat Nation? Welcome inside our halftime show for the Straight Up Saints podcast, powered by 4D. The Saints are trailing 16-7 at the half to the Chiefs, and the Chiefs are going to get the ball to start the second half. Just a really frustrating opening 30 minutes for New Orleans. So many things to get to, and obviously, as we always do, guys, make sure you get your comments, your thoughts in, and I'll try to read as many as possible. And also, if you guys enjoyed the content, like the video, it definitely helps out the channel. So let's get into this one. Like I said, 16-7. It starts off with the Saints receiving the ball. Derek Carr has probably the worst interception we're going to see this year from Derek Carr, and I'm not issuing that as a challenge to him. I hope that is the worst interception we see this year and nothing worse, because he just throws up a 50-50 ball. Should have just thrown out of bounds. Clearly got flustered by the pressure, but that can't happen. Chiefs go down on the other way. They score. Saints cut into it with a great throw from Carter Shaheed to make it 10-7, but ever since, I feel like that's the only drive the offense got something going. And then the second part, I think this defense has really struggled to make any type of threat in terms of the trenches. Pass rush has been kind of minimal on Mahomes. We had the one sack there from Chase Young, which was great to see, but the run defense has been a major problem, and that's what really concerns me right now for the Saints. I did not think Kareem Hunt was going to have 12 carries for 53 yards in the first half, and Vegas didn't think that was going to be the case. I'm pretty sure his over-under was around 50 yards for this game. So for the Saints, that's the big issue. You know Mahomes is going to burn you, and Lord knows he's doing it right now. He's already over 200 passing yards. Travis Kelce's been killing the Saints. But the run defense, you're getting beat up in the trenches. That's a problem. Your own offense isn't moving the ball outside of one drive where Carr had the long touchdown pass to Shaheed. But it's stupid mistakes for me that really frustrates me. And before I get into your comments, guys, I think what really sits terribly with me at the moment is the Saints have a chance. You're down 10-7, excuse me. It's 2nd and 34. How the fuck do you let the Chiefs end up getting a first down on that drive? It's 2nd and 34 and then 3rd and 22. That lateral from Kelce to Samaje Perine to get them in 4th and 1 territory for them to end up going in it, getting the first down, and then eventually adding a field goal. Those are 3 points that don't need to be on the board. You give up those 3 points, fine, it is what it is. The only thing you can't afford to do is go 3 and out on offense, because the last thing you want is for the Chiefs to get one more crack at 3 or 7 before they get the ball again to start the second half. And yet the Saints go 3 and out. Deep shot to Mason Tipton. Then they get nothing on the next play, just a 3-yard gain to Juwan. And then, Alvin gets smoked on a screenplay. And I'm not blaming Clint Kubiak for this game. Like, there's a multitude of factors why the Saints are struggling. But where the hell is the short passing game? It worked really well against Atlanta in that opening drive, worked well for the first half in general against the Falcons. Is that just non-existent today? Everything's just either a deep shot or running it into a wall, which is the Kansas City defensive line. So I don't think the offensive play calling has been very creative. I don't think Derek Carr is playing well outside of one drive. We all see that. And then the defense, no pass rush, no push in terms of the run defense. So what do you expect? It's just been a really frustrating half. Part of me says, hey, the fact that it's 16-7 is like not that bad, but the Saints haven't shown us any sign that they're going to win this game. And coming into this, I actually felt pretty good about the Saints. I really thought this was a nice matchup for them, but they keep doing the stupid shit that they mistake after mistake. And it's dumb stuff. Like Jamal Williams, you could just take the ball from the 30 and he accidentally steps 1 foot out of the end zone and he can't get a touchback. You lose 10 yards. Shit like that can't happen. You can't give up a first down when it's 2nd and 34, and yet they did. So really, really frustrating first half for the Saints. If they could get off the field early to start this second half, maybe they can make a game out of this, but they're losing every important statistic right now. They're losing the time of possession battle about 19.5 minutes to 10.5 minutes. They're losing in rushing yards. They're losing in yards per play. Total yards is a joke. It's not even close. They're not getting a pass rush on Mahomes. So just a lot of negative right now, and I hope they can fix it, but I'm not sure. Before I get into what you guys have to say, and I will in just a second, I want to get a quick word from Theo's Pizza.
Scan the code now and tackle your hunger with Theo's Pizza, your neighborhood pizza with 5 convenient locations. Who dat? Your taste buds are about to find out.
Once again, thank you to Theo's Pizza. So let's get into comments that you guys have to say here on our halftime show powered by 4D. We're going to start with Forgive says, this D-line sucks, and why is Cam Jordan getting snaps over Foskey or Turner, and Chiefs players are literally running wide open? Well, Turner's out. He's hurt right now, so there's your answer to that. And I think if Turner was healthy, Cam Jordan wouldn't be playing these snaps right now. I think the bigger problem is that Cam Jordan's getting these snaps over Isaiah Foskey. Either you're favoring the older player, which I don't think is the case. I think they think Isaiah Foskey is that useless that he can't get snaps over Cam Jordan. And that's a problem. As for guys being wide open, I have no idea. I think for the Saints, they play so much man-to-man. Chiefs they're running crossers. It's crossers galore this whole game. Every 2 plays, it's a fucking crossing route, and it's causing confusion over the middle. Kelsey's been wide open. Xavier Worthy's actually been open a couple of times. Mahomes has missed him. It just feels like death by 1,000 cuts. Trey says, this team makes me sick. Yeah, I feel the same way, man. Trey says defense is suspect. Go Explore says Cam Jordan's got to retire. I wrote that in my notes. I usually I write my notes down as the game goes along. I just put Cam Jordan equals washed up, and that's being kind. This man needs to retire. He is out there getting cardio and nothing more than cardio. And yeah, his motor's great, right? Like his motor was great at the end of the first half, was running around the field chasing Mahomes, but that's not doing anything for the Saints. Mahomes is running around exhausting every option. If he doesn't have anything, okay, throwing it out of bounds, but that's not really changing the outcome for this team, man. We got a super chat here. I believe it's either from Mike or Mick. I hope it's Mike, but either way, it might be Mick. Either way, thank you for the support. He says the first 2 games gave us a false sense of hope. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's the truth. And the first 2 weeks feel like 2 months ago. In reality, it's only 3 weeks ago, but it feels like it was 2 months ago. We're not seeing an aggressive team. We're not seeing a creative offense. And you know, I said before, I'm not going to blame this all on Kubiak, but everyone was so worried about Kubiak getting a head coaching job after 2 fucking games. And Kubiak now, granted they're hurting the O-line, and I get that. Where is the creativity from him? It's a deep shot after deep shot after deep shot. That's all the Saints are taking. And yeah, it worked for that one Shaheed play, which was great. But everything else is not working. They're not running the football well, and I'll attribute that to the O-line being banged up. But where's the short passing game? Where's prioritizing getting the ball to Chris Olave? Chris Olave is way too good for the Saints to not be using him at all. And that really bothers me. Cody says, I'm tired of hearing about Taysom Hill being out. Cody, you're gonna keep hearing it. Until the Saints prove that they can be a good offense without Taysom Hill, we're all gonna keep hearing it. And I know it sucks, right? No one wants to hear that, oh, Taysom Hill's out and he does so much for this team, because it gets repetitive. But they are a really inept offense when he's not on the field. Shows his value. Manuel says, take Jamal Williams off kick return. Bro is slow as shit, on top of it making a costly error. Yeah, I don't understand why he's even out there. I mean, he's the slowest offensive weapon they have. And clearly not the brightest one either, with that mistake he made in the end zone. Just brutal. Margaret says, brutal game, no defense. And what the hell was that throw by Carr for the interception? Yeah, I don't know. I have no clue. If anyone knows what he was thinking, other than, oh my God, the pressure's in my face, I got to get rid of this ball, and I really don't know. Weed at 24 says, I don't see us scoring more than 13 points. Well, even if you don't see them scoring more than 13, that's where the problem lies, right? The Saints, in this position right now, you're down 16-7. Even if you were to shut the Chiefs out for the rest of the game, are they getting another 10 points? It's been a grind to get 7. And frankly, you got 7 because you finally found that one mismatch and you've been spamming deep throws the whole fucking game. Shaheed finally makes a big play. And I wouldn't be surprised if Shaheed makes one more big play. I feel like he's the one that has the ideal matchup for tonight, which is fine by me. But, man, it just feels like such an uphill climb. Such an uphill climb. Forgive says, why doesn't Clint just go out on his shield? Just throw the effing ball sometimes. Carr's bad, but he's not Bryce Young bad. What the hell? I agree with you. It's the same old offense now that we've seen the last 3 weeks, and it's getting really freaking frustrating. Brody says, no issues with the defense. How do people expect them to do when Carr and the Saints offense keeps them on the field? I love the defense this season. I don't love the defense this season. Doesn't mean they're a god-awful unit. And I don't think they're a god-awful unit. They're not anywhere close to being god-awful. The Saints, though, are a team on defense where they are close to making the big play, and they always come up short when it comes to making the big play. And that's kind of where they're at. There's so many moments where you're like, oh, they might have Mahomes down. And there's a moment now in this game where it seems like they could have made a big play, and DeMario just can't bring him down, and all of a sudden what should have been a negative play for the Chiefs offense turns into a 15-yard gain by Kareem Hunt. Stuff like that's frustrating. Lord knows, and I said it a million times, and you guys heard me already, the fact that the Chiefs were able to get a fresh set of downs when they were facing 2nd and 34 is embarrassing. It's embarrassing. You're led by a defensive-minded head coach. How does that happen? 2nd and 34. How does that happen? I don't understand. And for people going, oh, well, it was a lateral. You don't expect that to happen. Chiefs fucking do that every week. Anyone who watches the Chiefs know they play backyard football for about a whole quarter. They chose to do it during this second quarter. Jay Rambo says, I want to hear shit about defense when offense has been asked the last 3 weeks. I think we can flame both sides of the ball, personally. I think we'll flame the fact that the run defense stinks. I think we'll flame the fact that the pass rush doesn't show up. And we can absolutely, with certainty, say that this Saints offense isn't good, period. We got 2 fun weeks to start the season, and they haven't been good since. Saints 41 says, let's put the blame where it belongs. Dennis Allen, everything he tries never works out for him. Sorry, y'all, I'm back on #FireDA. I've always been on the I'd rather look like an idiot and be wrong than the Saints struggle. And because when they struggle, yeah, I'm going to sit here and tell you, yeah, DA is not a good coach. But I don't want to sit here and do that. I want to see the Saints thrive. But when shit like this keeps happening year after year and it feels like you're watching the same product, what's the common denominator? Got a new quarterback, got a new OC, got the picks that he wanted for each of those spots. Same old Saints. Trey Gift says, I'd rather be 0-4 at this point. Those 2 weeks gave me too much hope. DA is still our head coach. How stupid am I? I mean, I would rather have the 2-2 record than 0-4. 0-4 is bleak, man. Charlie says, I don't care how pessimistic it sounds, but this game is over, down 9, and the Chiefs get the ball. The defense isn't good enough to keep them in it, and the offense has been terrible, as has the play calls. Fair enough. Ed says, if I have to watch Cam Jordan play football again, I'm going to vomit. Jack says, as soon as I saw that car pick, I knew it was going to be a rough one. It felt that way, right? It really felt that way. Steve says, fire DA. He is the problem. Good to know we drafted Olave to run block. I don't understand, man. Olave's such a good player, and we're just sitting out there using him as if he's an extra offensive tackle. Like, what the fuck is going on, man? And that falls, in my opinion, solely on Clint Kubiak. Solely on Clint Kubiak, the fact that Olave does not get targeted early and often. It's really frustrating. It really is frustrating. The Saints fan says, when do we start Spencer Rattler? I don't think anytime soon. Carr's starting all 17 bearing injury, guys. I hate to break it to you, but that's the truth. Charlie says, offensive line is not giving Kamara a chance, and Carr never looks at Olave. DA's play calling has been terrible, and so is Kubiak's. You have Chris Olave and Kamara. That's all you need to be good. Not all you need, but in terms of the first part, yeah, Alvin's going to be borderline useless in the run game because of this offensive line right now. No McCoy, no Ruiz. Lucas Patrick's banged up, but he's playing, but you can tell he's banged up. Just not a good look for them. They're not able to move guys in the ground game like they've had in the past, and I think that's what's really hurting them. JB says, we're dropping Young and Granderson coverage. Hell of a coach we got. Yeah, when they dropped Chase Young into coverage on that play, I could not fucking believe that they did that. I could not believe it. So stupid. Eric says, why'd we let A.T. Perry go? Who's better than our third wide receiver? You know, Mason Tipton's been getting open, man. Carr's just missed him a couple times. That's the truth of the matter. James says, you know how hard it is to score with a third string O-line? Yes and no. The Saints have had their opportunities. They've just come up short, in my opinion. So the second half is about a start, guys. As always, we're going to have our post-game live stream once this goes final, and we'll get everyone's comments. So if I missed you guys, come through our post-game live stream, and we'll make sure to get all your thoughts in. Hopefully the Saints can make a comeback here. Obviously, my optimism is waning by the moment, but we'll see what happens. Second half is going to start now, and we'll be back for our post-game live stream. Thank you so much for tuning in, and tune in for more from the Straight Up Saints podcast, the destination for the Who Dat Nation.